Hello, ladies, gentlemen, everyone in between and beyond. My name is Taylor, and welcome back to the OverAchievers podcast, episode 8, A Deal with the Devil. Joining me today, as usual, is quite the handsome devil himself, John.
Oh, thank you. That's your best intro.
Oh, that's what?
I know, it's a good
You've
one.
had so many intros, man.
Yeah, but you called me a handsome devil. That's pretty good.
Yeah, but I've called you handsome before, and you just, either scoffed at me or just, gross.
Or I'm just like, yeah, hey, it's me. I know.
Yeah, pretty much. Why the reaction now?
Dunno. Just sounded nice.
All right, then. Well, in the spirit of sounding nice, I'm going to let you go first, John. What game are you going to be introducing to us to today?
Today, I'm going to be talking about an actual recent game. It's Soul Hackers 2.
It's Dark Souls Hacker 2? What?
No. It's very easy to get them confused because there's so much hacking in Dark Souls, obviously.
There is. I mean, usually it involves hacking up somebody's face, but I mean, similar concept, I would assume.
True. Or, I don't know, some people think glitches are hacking, and we like our glitches now.
Nowadays, yeah.
But no, Soul Hackers 2, which is the sequel to, I think the full title was like Shin Megami Tensei Devil Summoner Soul Hackers.
Oh.
And then they just
I knew Soul Hackers had an original game 20 years ago, but I didn't realize it was part of the Shin Megami Tensei series.
Yeah, it's a spin-off from the Shin Megami Tensei series. It's also like a spin-off from like the Devil Summoner Shin Megami Tensei series.
Wait, okay, Shin Megami Tensei already has Persona, this one, Devil Summoner. How many others does this thing have?
There's a lot. Like, I tried to download like most of the games onto my Steam Deck, and like every once in a while I'll find like a whole like spin-off series that I didn't know existed.
Series, not just game, but series.
Yeah, there's like a PS2 series. There's just like 2 games, but it's like something about you fighting like zombies in like feudal Japan, but it's still like Shin Megami Tensei. It sounds great.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it sounds great. And actually the only reason I know about that game is because of like you get outfits from that game in Soul Hackers 2.
Oh.
Yeah. If you buy the terrible DLC, that is.
Oh, all right then. I guess I know your feelings on the DLC now.
Overpriced.
Yeah, that's going to be a theme for some games, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
So in future, are we going to have a Shin Megami Tensei spin-off mega episode?
I don't think so, because they've only got 4 games on Steam.
That's a shame.
Which is where I would get my achievements.
Yeah.
And one of them was that fighting game, the Persona fighting game, which I'm not going to get all achievements in.
Wait, I thought you already did, though.
No, because you had to do online. You had to win online games, right? I wasn't going to do that.
Yeah, but I thought you did those. You happened to win the 2 matches that you needed or whatever.
No, you needed to win one for one of the achievements. And then there were other online ones, and I just wasn't interested.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, so no, probably not. Unless they start, Persona 5 is out on Steam now, and I'm going to get all achievements in that at some point. 3, when it comes out, I'll probably get all achievements in that. If they keep bringing their games out, I'll maybe get them.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Oh, also, real quick, I should have put this in earlier, but that's fine. Welcome to the first episode being released in 2023, provided we made it that far.
Wow.
This is not being recorded in 2023.
Happy New Year.
Because that would just be way too much of a turnaround, way too quick of a turnaround time for me. But it'll be the first episode of the new year, so hopefully everything went well and we're still in business and, life hasn't gone completely downhill. Though looking at the weather outside, it's a possibility.
Yeah,
this is the first day of snow we've had in months, and there is a crap ton of it.
There's an actual snowfall warning here. Yeah, it's like real. We had 2 days of autumn. I don't know if people know that. 3 days ago, it was 20 degrees Celsius and bright sun. The last 2 days were, nice autumn weather, and now it's winter already.
Yeah, we really got just an extended summer, which I was really dreading because I knew this would happen. Yeah. We had an average of 24, 28 degrees Celsius every day, and suddenly we're down to the current temperature is
-1, I think.
It's -1 degree Celsius,
Yeah.
Overnight. And I was dreading it. I knew it was going to happen with these heat waves anyway. hopefully we make it past this into the new year. Hopefully everything from the new year is going well, and that this episode goes up on time. If not, well, sorry about that.
If not, then the game I'm talking about is going to be even more out of date. Then I kind of forgot that we record these so far in advance. So I'm like, yeah, this is a current game, but it's not going to be when this comes out.
No, nothing we record is current. That is just my entire lifestyle.
Damn. Oh well. Elden Ring's getting kind of current. It's not too far off now.
Yeah, and if I was smarter, I wouldn't have released World of Warcraft as a Halloween special. I would have waited till next month because then it's 4 days before the new expansion drops.
Oh, yeah, that would have been pretty good.
But I feel like people will still be Googling it and searching it, about a month beforehand.
Yeah, I think so.
Especially that the ads are still rolling out.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, let's get back to Soul Hackers.
Okay. So a little brief read of the game. It's a supernatural RPG with stylish summoners. This is right from Steam. With stylish summoners and dark dangers lurking under the neon lights of a cyberpunk Japan. It's up to Ringo, which is the character you play as, an agent of Ion, to save the world from apocalypse. And then I wrote a little bit myself. It's a JRPG from Atlas. Sort of a sequel to the original Dreamcast game, which was the Soul Hackers one I was talking about. Sort of not, because it doesn't ever actually mention the first game. There's a couple of very offhand references to it, but you really don't have to have played the original to play this one. So it's technically a sequel because it's called Soul Hackers 2, but barely a sequel.
Yeah, I've heard it described as a soft reboot more so than a proper sequel.
Yeah,
for people who haven't played the first one.
Which it's very confusing that they called it Soul Hackers 2. I feel like they could have probably just called it Soul Hackers, with none of the Shin Megami Tensei tags or anything, and it probably would have sold better.
Because the second you slap a 2 on something, people feel like they need to have played the first one, or it's an established franchise that they want to get at the entry point, when that entry point is 20 years ago on a system that is no longer obtainable for the most part. You're like, do I really want to do this?
Yeah, I mean, it did get remade on the 3DS in 2013, I think, which is the version I played in order to catch up for this one. Didn't need to, but it was okay.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's not like you can buy a 3DS anymore either.
No, that's true. So I will say, if you didn't tell me that description was from Steam, I would have you should have passed it off as your own. Would have been just fine.
Oh, really?
I would also say you could just sum it up as you play as a former member of the Beatles who fights a DC villain.
Who's the DC villain?
Apocalypse.
Oh, Apocalypse, okay. You do actually fight the Apocalypse, it's pretty great.
Yeah, so people would just be really confused thinking they play as Ringo Starr fighting Apocalypse. Which, admittedly, I would absolutely play that game. Developers, if you're listening, make that game. I don't care if it's 30 minutes long, I will buy it.
Yeah, that's an interesting game.
Okay, so what does the gameplay actually look like?
So, it's basically Shin Megami Tensei, but in the future, cyberpunk setting kind of thing. But gameplay-wise, it's Digital Foundry in their review video of it called it Persona Light, and it really is Persona Light. It's definitely not as in-depth as mainline Shin Megami Tensei, and not quite as simple as Persona. So it really is a mixture of the two of them. You play as Ringo, and you control a party of 4 devil summoners, and you can assign each of them 1 demon to use in battle. And
this is just sounding like the Beatles. Honestly.
Yeah, because you have four members of the Beatles. You give them each a demon.
I mean, I would argue that Yoko Ono was a demon, but that's a separate conversation.
True, but not part of the Beatles.
No, but she was John Lennon's, demon.
She was, it's true.
So I mean, the parallels are there.
They are there. So yeah, combat is turn-based, just like Shin Megami Tensei and Persona. But you can control all 4 party members, whereas in some Persona games, the party members are AI controlled, although you can still control them in most of the games. And the gameplay apart from that is just dungeon crawling, pretty much.
Fair enough.
It's not random encounters, which is always nice. I'm glad lots of games have moved past that. You can actually see the enemies pop up in front of you on the map, so you can like run past them if you don't want to fight them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and, what was I gonna say? I've heard that the lack of, like, a proper map screen is just really disorienting.
Oh my god. If you're watching the YouTube video, or the YouTube version of this podcast, you'll probably see some, like, dungeon crawling at some point in it. But the map is just... Yeah, you can't open a map. It's just overlaid on your screen at all times. And it looks disgusting. It looks so low effort. It's horrible.
Oh, lovely.
It auto scrolls, like it doesn't fit on the screen. And you can either hide it, zoom it all the way in so it's functionally useless, or have it zoomed out and literally covering half of your screen.
Oh my god.
It's terrible. I don't know what they were thinking.
That's, yeah, and I watched a few videos just in preparation for this recording, and I will say, I'm trying out the new feature on Spotify for video podcasts.
Oh, okay.
Let me know how it works. So people on Spotify may also be able to get the proper YouTube/video experience, so I'm going to do my best to make sure that happens. Yeah, that map either took up your whole screen, took up like 30% of your screen, or just was not there, and I hated its design personally.
It's terrible.
It was awful.
So bad. And yeah, like some of the dungeons are huge, and like even if you're using the zoomed out map, it does just cover half of your view, and it's horrible.
Yeah, it looks so bad to navigate, and the parts that I saw, which was very minimal, all looked very similar. Like it did not seem like it was very distinct and easy to navigate.
Oh boy, is it not?
Okay. Well, I'm sure we'll get back to that at some point later on.
Yeah.
But I did want to ask, how many achievements does this game have?
It says 47 achievements.
Okay, that's not I would hope that's not an unreasonable number, but I don't know.
I don't know. I should have like compared it to like my previous answers. I think like Elden Ring's only like... It's not many, right? It's like 42. So it's actually pretty comparable.
40... Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
And so was this your first time playing it, or did you like jump into it for a little bit and then decide later on you were going to get them?
I was pretty hyped on this game because I really like Atlas games. You know, I've talked about it when we did the Persona 4 episode. So like I kind of got sucked into the hype for this one. So I started playing it like day one. And because I, did all achievements on Persona 4 and Persona 5 Strikers, I thought, you know what, I'll probably end up doing it on this one. I didn't really look too much into the achievements because you don't want that to be like the first thing you do with a new game. You want to just get into the game instead of looking up like the list of achievements.
No, absolutely, I get you.
So I was just playing the game, and I was getting so many achievements just from playing the game, like without looking at them or anything or doing anything special. I was just popping like 6 achievements every session I played or something like that.
Ooh.
So I was like, okay, this is gonna be easy, about partway, like I think probably about halfway through my first playthrough, I looked up the list and it seemed okay. Most of them seemed pretty manageable. So yeah, like during the first playthrough is when I decided to go for all achievements, but I think even before I started it, I think I knew there was a good chance I was going to do it.
Okay. And have you gone back to it since getting all achievements?
I have not, and
all right,
I probably won't.
Okay.
It's not like Persona 4 when I got all achievements. It was a real slog, but like the story and the game is so much fun that I can see myself in like 2 years wanting to replay it or something like that for the story. Not so with Soul Hackers 2.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, it's I don't know if like now's the time to say it, but yeah, it's the worst like Atlas game I've played. Like it's fine.
Oh my god.
It's okay, but like it's easily my least favorite of all of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. And how long did you play it for?
My total playtime on Steam was 54 hours.
Oh.
And How Long to Beat says 65 hours for completionist.
And I'm on trueachievements.com and it says 60 to 80 hours.
Interesting. I didn't even play on the easiest difficulty for once because
we got a badass over here.
Normally I do, right? Because
you just want to kind of have a chill experience. No, but that's Oh, so did you find it difficult, like even at first, or was it kind of always was it a balanced experience, or was it just like
No.
genuinely too easy?
So
Oh.
so I started it, and like when it starts up, it's like, what difficulty do you want to play on? I'm like, easy. I just want to chill. I just want to relax. And I did like the first two combat scenarios, and I was like, my god, this is literally brainless. so so I bumped it up to medium, and it was pretty good on medium. Like, still, decently chill, but a little bit more of a challenge. Just had to think a little bit more about the encounters. And then
Hmm.
probably like 2/3 of the way through the game, difficulty just spiked, and it got so hard, and I had to drop it back down to easy for the rest of the game.
Oh.
Except for one specific achievement, which I'll talk
All
about
right then.
later.
Huh. That's weird. Okay.
I do think
Interesting.
part of why my total playtime was a bit less was you, you have to do 2 playthroughs, which I'll talk about a little bit more later.
Okay.
Um, but essentially, I think you can get away with not doing all the side quests on the first playthrough and instead doing them all on the second playthrough, because
Oh, okay.
you have to do some side quests to get closer to the companions, the party members, in
Hmm.
order to get a couple of the achievements.
All
And
right.
so I didn't realize that, so I just went ahead and did all the side quests on my first playthrough, just
Hmm.
because I wanted to do it. I wanted to get the full experience.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then on my second playthrough, I didn't really want to do all of them again, and there wasn't a handy guide because I played it as soon as it came
Oh,
out.
yeah.
There wasn't a handy guide of which side quests you needed to do to get like the social points or whatever with your companions.
Hmm.
So I did a few side quests, and I was like, "This is so tedious. I've just done them like very very recently. I don't want to redo all of these." So I did use Cheat Engine to set their like social points to max, just so I didn't have to spend all the time doing the side quests again.
Yeah.
But I mean, that probably only saved me 3 to 5 hours or something like that.
Oh,
But yeah, like
I figured it'd be longer because like most JRPGs, especially, have like super lengthy side quests.
no, these side quests are really just like contracts kind of thing. Like most of them are very very short.
All
There's
right.
like the DLC side
Interesting.
quest, but I don't think you have to do that for any of the achievements, and that one's very long. But yeah, like the actual
Hmm.
side quests in the game don't take very long. But when there's so many of them,
Okay.
and there were a lot, it was gonna like sour the experience even more so than it already had. So I just cheat engined that bit.
Yeah, that's fair. Now, when you say you have to do two playthroughs, is that like a new game plus type thing, or is that just a straight new game, all your stats are reset and everything like that?
No, it is a new game plus. Yeah, it's explicitly
Oh,
new game
okay.
plus.
And that doesn't carry over into your well, I guess it shouldn't carry over your social stuff if it's quest related and stuff. Okay.
It's interesting because on new game, the max social stats with everybody you can get is 100. And
Okay.
then in New Game Plus, everybody gets social experience at twice the level of New Game. So
Oh.
you need to get everybody to 200 to get the achievements. So yeah, you really
Okay, so it's not like it's any faster. They just they double your experience gain, but they also double the requirement. Why not just keep it the same?
I don't know.
It doesn't make any
I don't
sense.
know. Like speaking about New Game Plus, when you go into it, there is actually a cool option. Like you can actually toggle which things you want to carry over, which is quite nice. I haven't
Oh.
seen that too
Hmm.
often.
Hmm.
So like if you wanted, you could restart it at level 0 with none of your save demons or anything. But I was like, I'm not here to enjoy New Game Plus. I'm here to blitz through it as fast as possible. So I kept my like
Yeah.
max level characters and high level demons.
No, absolutely. That's I don't I get why they give you the option for that, but I don't think I would ever just not take all of my stuff.
I don't think so either. Maybe if like Persona 4, I took like over a year between New Game and New Game Plus, maybe then I would want to start from a
Hmm.
low level.
Hmm.
But yeah, other than that, don't know when I would.
No, that's fair. Okay, so let's actually get into the achievements now. What did you think were the hardest and easiest for you?
Okay, so hardest achievement. It wasn't. Yeah, it's probably like actually the hardest instead of most frustrating. So I try to like keep those separate. But the hardest achievement for me is called Hardcore Hacker, which is where you win the final battle on hard difficulty or higher.
All right. Are you Hacker Man from God, what was that movie? It was a stupid YouTube movie, like 30 minutes long.
I have no idea.
Oh God, it had the Raptor riding Vikings, had laser miniguns. Oh God, this is gonna kill me. This is actually gonna kill me.
No, I'm Ringo Starr, remember?
I know, but oh, what was this movie?
Oh god, you're gonna make me fucking Google like Hacker Man.
I'm YouTubing Hacker Man right now because it's um oh Kung Fury, that was it.
Kung Fury.
Oh, it's a 30-minute like uh crowdfunded movie thing, and
Oh,
it's
okay.
so funny.
Wow.
Because anyway, there's a guy in it called Hacker Man who uses a Nintendo Power Glove, and it's just like this joke hacker thing.
I see.
So John, you're the new. You've taken up the Hacker Man mantle.
That makes sense. I am a soul hacker.
Yeah. All right. Sorry. Continue that. I had to get that off my chest.
So yeah, it's where you have to win the final boss battle on hard difficulty or higher.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't too bad. Like I said, I played most of the game on medium, then dropped it down to easy until this point.
Okay.
But by this point, I'd looked up achievements, and so like I knew this was coming up. So I kind of I paused right before the final boss, and because I bought all the DLC with it, I got like the deluxe pack or whatever it is.
Oh yeah.
Because I had the DLC, one of the DLCs gives you these consumables after every fight,
Okay.
and you can collect 99 of these consumables because that's the max stack in your inventory.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when you use one of these consumables, it gives you a level.
Okay.
So
you could just instantly power level to 99 on whatever character.
yeah, so so right before this boss, I used 99 of those, just split them up between my party. You also get 99 items that give your demon a level as well. So I
Oh
fused,
my God.
I went and fused all the demons I could. Got every single demon except for the 3 you get in New Game Plus. Picked out the best one for each character, maxed them all. I think I got like everybody to like level 80 kind of thing, and then went into the final battle.
Yeah.
Without those, I still could have done it. Like the boss has like
Oh, I totally misunderstood what you said. I thought for a second you were saying you went into the final battle without those upgrades. I was like, hang on, why would you do that if they were available to you? Okay, no, I get it. Continue.
No, it definitely would have been possible without using them. Because the boss has like very specific patterns and stuff, and like once you've tried it or you've looked up a guide, it's fairly simple to beat him. But it was nice having that like buffer of being very strong.
No, that's fair.
Plus, at this point, I was like a little soured on the game anyway, and I was like, yeah, I just want to get through this.
Do you think you could have done it without the DLC like power-ups?
Yes, yeah, I think so. I think if I'd like gone into it blind, I think it would have destroyed me. But I had like a little guide for it, and it said like, in like turn 2 to 4, you should like try and use these moves, kind of thing, like that. So yeah, like honestly, as a final battle goes, not too bad.
No, fair
but
enough. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. It probably wasn't like there was nothing too hard in this game, but like that one specifically made you switch difficulty, so I think that was the hardest one.
That's fair. And how about the easiest one then?
Easiest one, doing something different this time, not just going for the gimme achievements.
Hey, whatever you want to do, man.
Yeah. Easiest is called Blade Novice, which is where you knock down 10 or more enemies on the field. When you're roaming the dungeons and you see like an enemy pop up in front of you, you press X and you hit it with your sword, and then it gets knocked down to the ground, and then you run into it. And if you do it that way, it gives you you get to go first in the combat, basically.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that in the videos. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, you just have to knock down 10 or more enemies in the dungeon, and that's it. That's how you get that achievement. So very, very easy.
That's fair. Okay, so outside of those, what were the most and least fun?
Okay, most fun.
Oh,
It's just the name of this achievement. Okay, most fun achievement for me was Walpurgisnacht.
Yeah, the German is that the German title for the Night of the Demons Parade?
Is it? I have no idea.
Yeah, I know I've heard this in so many anime and like
Oh,
other actual like proper cultural things. It's either night no, I think it's Demons Parade, and I think it's April 31st if I'm not mistaken.
well, Nacht is night. I don't.
Yeah, so it's like Demon's Night or something.
Okay, cool. That does.
Wait,
That does make
it's a
sense.
German word.
Interesting.
April 30th. 2 months. Sorry, go ahead.
No. Tell me about Walpurgisnacht.
So yeah, Walpurgis Night, obviously pronounced in English. So it takes place. Alternatively spelled Saint Walpurga's Eve after Saint Walpurgis. Is a Christian feast for Saint Walpurgia. Sorry, my throat. Yeah, April 30th and the day of May. So the night of April 30th and the day of May 1st commemorates the canonization of Saint Walpurga. Oh, so it's just to celebrate a saint.
It's just a saint's day.
Yeah, it's just a saint's day. Okay, so in popular culture, it was repurposed to be a night of demon worship, or like a night when the veil between the human world and the demon world is at its thinnest. So a lot of, again, anime and other popular culture, mind you, it's fictional, would have used Walpurgis Night as more of a significance day beyond just celebrating a saint.
Oh, interesting. Strange.
The German Night of Witches. Here we go.
Oh, okay.
Tracked all the way to pagan festivities that celebrated the coming of spring. That would make sense.
Yeah.
So Christianity, no offense to like people who practice Christianity, had a really, really concerning habit about just renaming pagan holidays and then still forsaking pagans.
It's true.
I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to rain anybody's parade, but it's a factual thing. So Walpurgis Night did, as far as I can see here, and I will leave just links in the description down below. Do your own research, please, by all means. Start out as a pagan kind of spring festival, which many Christians, I'm assuming, would have looked at as witches and other things for the gods that they prayed to, and crowned a saint in place of that.
Interesting.
Celebrations of seasonality and fertility becoming intertwined with the legend of an English nun called Walpurga.
Huh.
And that began in the 8th century. So before that it was pagan, after the 8th century it was
demons.
It was Christian.
And witches.
Yeah.
Strange. Oh well, I'm glad you had some insight on what that name meant.
I knew, like, when I was reading the achievements list, I was like, hang on, I know this word. And then I had to look it up. I was like, oh yeah, that's where I know it from.
Huh. Anyway, that achievement, you perform a Sabbath with a stack of 10 or more, which doesn't really make sense unless I explain it. A Sabbath is like a bonus attack you get during combat, basically. If you hit an enemy's weakness, because enemies have different weaknesses to the different elements that you get. If you hit an enemy's weakness, you get 1 point in the stack. And once you've done all 4 of your turns, like all 4 of your summoners have gone, then if you've got points in the stack, you activate a Sabbath, which just deals extra damage to the enemies depending on how many points you have in the stack, basically. And so this one, you have to get a stack of 10 or more, which is quite tricky because when you start the game, you're only attacking once per character. So like if you hit every single weakness, you're still only getting 4 points in the stack. So I just found it quite fun to get upgrades for my summoners to let them get 2 stacks when they hit an enemy with lightning or whatever. And then like once I had a couple of those upgrades, it was trying to find the right encounter so all 4 of them would be able to hit a weakness kind of thing. I just thought it was a pretty neat one, trying to build up that combo.
It sounds like it's a little tough at first, but it sounds like it would be pretty rewarding.
Yeah, it was like at the start, like I saw that and like I was hitting like 4 stacks and I was like, how on earth are you going to do this? And then like
Yeah.
by the end of the game, you're like regularly hitting over 10.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty unique. It was cool.
Okay. And how about the least fun outside of the ones you've already mentioned?
Least fun was the Compendium Completionist, which is where you fill the Demon Compendium's registry to 100% completion.
Oh, is this similar to that one you did in Persona 4, Persona 5? No, sorry, it was 4.
It was 4. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
Oh no.
it's like your Demon Pokédex, basically. Throughout the game, you can recruit demons, and when you do, they get registered to your compendium. So that's fine. You don't have to do them. Some of them you have to fuse demons with 2 or more demons that you already have. Luckily you can pay money to summon demons that you've already registered. So
it's just a gacha game.
Well, there's no like random chance involved or anything.
Okay.
You can fuse like pretty much every demon. So like even if you didn't recruit them in the field, you can go back and presumably summon 2 of the ones you've already registered and fuse them into the demon you're missing, kind of thing.
Okay.
But the reason this one sucked so much is that in New Game you can get this to 98% because there's 3 demons locked at the very end of New Game Plus.
At the end of New... Oh.
Yep. They're locked away in the dungeons that require the 200 social stat thing I was talking about.
Oh, yeah.
So basically each of your 3 companions have these soul matrix dungeons, which are dungeon representations of their soul kind of thing. Really bland, samey looking dungeons, very dull, very annoying to go through. In New Game, there's 4 floors of each of these dungeons, but in New Game Plus, you can access the 5th floor, and that's why you need 200 of the social stat to get to the end of the 5th floor.
Oh, I don't like that.
Like once you get to 100, you can open the door at the end of the 4th floor and go onto the 5th floor, but you won't be able to open anything else on the 5th floor until you get past that 100 stat.
Oh, boy.
So like you can see it in New Game, but you can't do anything about it. And at the very end of each of those 5th floors is a demon you have to fight, and once you fight that demon, you can fuse it and register it to your compendium. And I just had such an unfun time in like all of New Game Plus that that's why this was the least fun achievement for me, because you can't do it without doing New Game Plus, and New Game Plus wasn't fun.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
Yeah, not great. They're cool demons, but it's also like right at the end of the game. Like I'm not going to use them.
Yeah, holy crap. That's just no. Why don't lock things behind? If you're gonna do New Game Plus, put it like at most halfway through the game. Do not lock it to the end of New Game Plus.
Yeah, and
never assume someone is going to want to play your game that badly.
Yeah, and like in order to get the 200 social stat or whatever, you can only get some of those points through side quests. The rest come from doing the main story. Okay. And so you do, in fact, have to get all the way to basically just before the final boss in order to get all the points you need.
Oh, God.
I will say, I blasted through the story in New Game Plus. I think I got through the whole thing in probably like 3 hours.
What?
Yeah, you can go so fast. If you carry over all your stats and levels and everything from New Game, you can just blitz through it, and that was quite satisfying.
Wow, that's insane.
It was great.
That's crazy. Okay, so do you know what the rarest achievement on the list is?
It's the one I just talked about. It's Compendium Completionist.
Do you think it deserves its position as the rarest?
Yes, because you have to do all of New Game Plus.
Okay, did you know before doing New Game Plus that it would only take you like a couple hours?
It only took a couple of hours to get through the main story. I still had to do their Soul Matrix dungeons, which took ages.
Right, and how long? Okay.
Well, because you have to do all 5 again. Like, you don't carry over the Soul Matrix progress into New Game Plus, unfortunately. So you have to start from the 1st floor again, and those are long and tedious. I don't remember
Okay.
exactly how long those took, but you have to do 5 floors 3 times, and they're pretty long. So yeah, definitely longer than it took me to do the whole main story again.
Huh. Interesting.
That one only 2.7% of people have it, by the way.
Oh God.
Yeah, very very rare one.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, so and have you already mentioned your most memorable one,
No, not yet.
or is it okay? Like, well, because I was kind of curious if it was one you had mentioned, like for another answer. Okay, so in that case, what is your most memorable?
Most memorable for me is called Past and Present Entwined, which is where you complete the 4th floor of someone's soul matrix.
Okay, and did you have a particular character that this kind of really left an impression for you, or is it just doing it in general?
Just doing it in general.
Okay.
Doing all 3 of them in general did, but there's only achievement for doing one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Once periodically, as you go through each character's soul matrices, you get a little bit of backstory to them, which is cool. It's some nice character development. And at the end of the 4th floor, you get kind of a bigger bit of character development for them. I'm just being vague because it's pretty cool seeing that bit for
That's
yourself.
fair. Yeah.
But yeah, I really liked seeing that bit. It was a really cool story moment. And so it made me quite
Okay.
interested in what you'd get at the end of the 5th floor if this is what you got on the 4th floor. You
Mm-hmm.
get nothing. there's there's no
Oh.
story or character development on the 5th floor at all.
Oh.
It was so disappointing.
Yeah, that's just rough.
Yeah, but yeah, I really liked that achievement. It's just some nice story and character stuff.
No, that's fair. Are there any games you'd want, or any games, any achievements you would want to remove from the game?
Yes, Taylor, there is.
Is it, dare I say, the compendium achievement?
No, because I really like getting 100% of the compendium. I would just tweak it so you didn't have to do New Game Plus, pretty much.
Okay.
No, the one I would like to get rid of is called Soul Matrix Transcension, which is complete 5th floor of someone's soul matrix. I would just do.
Just because it didn't really add anything?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like floor 1 to 4, you're getting all these cool character bits, and then just nothing on the 5th floor, and it just. I don't know. I would get rid of New Game Plus and get rid of a whole 5th floor and everything.
Fair enough. So is there something like a way of playing or an action that you take that you do in the game that doesn't have an achievement that you wish did have an achievement?
I couldn't think of anything for this one.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Are you able to soft lock yourself out of any of these?
Um, barely. There's 2 different ending achievements.
Okay.
And if you save before you fight the final boss, you can just reload that save and do the other one in the same playthrough. So you can only soft lock yourself if you don't save before that final boss, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the game probably even gives you an autosave before you encounter them as well. So you can maybe soft lock yourself out of that, but I don't think so.
Does the game does the game reward you at all for getting all achievements? Is there anything?
No, there's no reward really. I mean, it almost like anti-rewards you by making you do the New Game Plus stuff, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no,
That's
there's
fair. Huh.
no in-game thing unless I've totally forgotten it, but I don't think there was.
So does it feel like the devs actually cared about the achievements, or was it kind of just slapdash together?
I think any game after FromSoft's list of achievements is gonna look like they really cared about them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, yeah, there's a lot of cool things in here. Like, what was the one I was talking about earlier? Like
you talked about a few cool ones.
the like getting the Sabbath with a stack of 10. That was a pretty
Well, Purgasnacht.
yeah, that was a pretty unique one. Pretty different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's pretty good ones. There's achievements related to going to hangout events with your friends, eating meals with your friends. Like there's one for eating every single meal in the game, which is quite cool.
Huh.
Yeah, there's a lot of nice ones in there.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay. Do you need to get 100% to get all achievements?
Yeah, I think so. Like getting the compendium to 100% is pretty much 100%ing it. You have to do all the side quests. Do you have to do all the side quests? I think you have to do all the side quests. Yeah, because I
Okay.
think there's a couple of demons like tied to side quests and stuff. I
Mhm.
did them all anyway.
Fair
But yeah,
enough.
I think you do really have to 100% it.
Interesting. I think that might be a first for us
I think it
actually.
might be, yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Do the achievements feel unique in the genre? So like compared to other Atlas games?
Yeah, a little bit. But there's some kind of overlap with Persona, like obviously the 100% compendium. You'll find that in all the Persona games. Um,
Hmm.
I should have actually looked at like the list of Persona 5 achievements. I haven't looked at it yet because that'll be quite interesting.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know. We'll find out in a later episode.
Yeah, I will talk about that at some point, I'm sure.
That's fair.
um,
Uh,
but yeah,
Go
like
ahead.
the ones I was talking about, like the Sabbath one, yeah, eating meals with your friends and stuff like that, achievements tied to those. You're not going to see those in many other JRPGs, I don't think. Well, maybe you would, but I think
Cough cough. Final Fantasy. Cough cough.
yeah, I don't know. Somewhat, some of them are.
Hmm. Okay. Did you have to use any guides for this? I know you looked up the achievements, but did you have to use a guide for how to get them?
Um, no, like even now on the Steam forums, there's no actual all achievements guide, which is quite
Oh.
surprising. I remember I found a Reddit post on the Soul Hackers 2 subreddit of
Hmm.
a guy wrote a post that said like, um, I just got all achievements in Soul Hackers 2. Here's what I wish I'd knew before, or something like that.
Hmm.
I don't remember what that post was, but I didn't use it too much. I just kind of like had to read through it. I was like, oh yeah, that's good to know.
Fair enough. Okay.
So I didn't really use guides for the achievement specifically,
Yeah.
but there were some pages on samurai-gamers.com that had maps for all the dungeons in the Soul Link, the Soul Matrixes, especially.
Hmm.
Those dungeons would have been really painful without the maps. And like, here's a list of which, because there's random teleporters all over them further
Yeah.
down. So like being able to see like, oh, I need to go in that teleporter there and then that teleporter there, kind of thing. So
Okay.
very helpful guides on Samurai-Gamers. And then I also used rpgsite.net for a
Hmm.
all side quests guide, which was also very helpful.
Though, yeah, I use those guys for a upcoming episode.
Ah.
Both of those guides will be linked in the description down below for anyone who wants to do this themselves. Has this changed the way you look at the game, and do you regret going for all achievements?
I after I finished this game, I asked Taylor when we could next record one of these episodes because um I said that this game would be the first one I did actually regret getting all achievements in.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, this question's gonna hit.
Yeah, I think you probably know why. Because New Game Plus was just unfun the whole time. Like, if it was just you go into New Game Plus and you do the main story and that's it to get like a second ending achievement or something like that, I would feel a lot
Hmm.
more positively about it. But you have to redo so much in New Game Plus.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I do regret doing all of New Game Plus. I should have left it after I finished the first playthrough. After I got both endings, just so I could see all the story and everything. Um, I regret everything after that point.
Huh. Man, that's just depressing to
It is depressing.
hear.
It didn't add like
Oh,
too much time to it, but still, like I think it was probably like 10 to 12 hours or something of that second playthrough.
yeah.
And yeah, just
Okay.
I could have done without it, and I would feel a lot more positively about it.
Fair enough. Interesting. So, to go along with that, would you recommend other people try to go for this or not?
I mean, I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. Um, I did say like maybe if you did what I did with Persona 4 and left like a year plus between New Game and New Game Plus, I think you could
Hmm.
maybe enjoy it because I think you'd probably enjoy doing the main story and maybe redoing the side quests. But I still think that the fifth floor of the Soul Matrix dungeons is just not gonna be fun for anyone, really.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I no, I wouldn't recommend it.
Oh wow, I think Is that our first not recommendation?
Yeah, I think I usually give like a recommendation with like a caveat kind of thing. But yeah, this is probably my
Yeah, that's
first
fair.
not recommended.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right then. Uh, well, on that unfortunate note, thank you everyone so much for listening to the first step of the episode. We will take a short commercial break if we are monetized, which we likely won't be, but who knows. I did want to bring back the question of the episode though, and John doesn't know about this
Uh-oh.
one. It's a surprise to him too. John, given three options, option one being how PlayStation does it, where you just get a bronze, silver, gold, or platinum trophy. Option two being images, like you see if you were to look up a Soul Hackers 2 achievement, you see like a little graphic image, whatever you want to call it. Or option three, having certain achievements unlock actual wearables for like an Xbox Live avatar style character. Which do you think is the best route to go for achievements?
Oof, which is the best route?
And I want, for everyone watching or listening at home, I want to know this from you too. What do you think is like the coolest thing to do? Like, what would you prefer?
I think I like the PlayStation way of doing it, where they give weight to different achievements, kind of thing, and like the platinum is the
Okay,
most important achievement.
interesting.
I like speaking of Soul Hackers, they do actually like color code the achievements so they match up
Huh.
to like presumably the PlayStation weighted style of achievements.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I like the PlayStation way of doing it.
Huh. All right. And I see PlayStation to me just feel like I get it, but it also feels the most uninspired.
Really,
So I think I'd go in the opposite direction. So for me, my number one would be, and granted, I was an Xbox kid, so
and
like
I wasn't, so I don't know if that.
playing Xbox, having that little avatar, and then knowing that certain achievements could get you like, for instance, well, I know a lot of them you could just buy, like you could unlock the Lancer as like just a little accessory for your guy from Gears of War. You could unlock Master Chief's armor. Just like if they would put in stuff like that from the game, it doesn't have to be like a character specific thing, but just like if you got all achievements in a game, you unlock something for your little avatar. I think that'd be a really nice representation. Otherwise, I do like what some games do, not a lot, have really creative images with their achievements. Some are very generic, kind of like Soul Hackers. You just have groups of images,
Yeah,
and I think it's just very uninspired. Like if you're gonna move away from just having colored trophies, why not actually put in some customized and very applicable artwork to it?
I do agree on that. I do like like Dark Souls or Elden Ring or whatever. They have that nice little picture that represents the achievement.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, and I think you can do a lot with that kind of artwork.
yeah, I agree. I think ideally for me is a mix between Steam and PlayStation, with like the weighted
Huh.
trophies but the nice images of Steam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I also just want like an Xbox Live Avatar style thing back.
I do not want
Because
that.
like what okay, so why don't you like
I
it?
don't know. I just
Outside of not being
don't.
an Xbox kid.
I don't know. It
'Cause,
just just doesn't appeal
like
to
did
me.
you ever go on like YTV .ca as a kid and have like the sidekicks?
I don't
The
think
little yellow
so.
robot?
No.
What? Oh man, that was having like a custom avatar was like the thing as a kid, especially for like websites and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
So I don't know, just for me, the Xbox just felt like a natural kind of addition to that.
Yeah, that's fair. And like you did grow up on Xbox and I didn't, so that's
Yeah,
probably where some of that's
I
coming
am
from.
curious though if I hadn't grown up on Xbox, if my opinions would be different.
Yeah, hopefully people can weigh in on that in the comments.
So yeah, I mean, I don't imagine there's gonna be a whole lot of Xbox people, or at least not people who admit to being Xbox, just because their reputation is well. The Xbox One really kind of hit the reputation on Xbox.
Yeah, it did.
If you were a 360 kid, let me know
Hmm.
because I gotta find more people like me. I know too many PlayStation people. Anyway, with that, like I said, we'll take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back with the rest of the episode.
Right.
And we're back. Thank you for sitting through the, I'm assuming, non-existent commercial break. Now we'll be discussing the game that I want to cover today.
I realized before we started recording this, I actually have no idea what game you're talking about.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I don't know if we ever actually talked about it.
Oh, I thought I told you.
I don't.
Because I know I have all mine scheduled out.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I have no idea. I do now. I've got your
Oh.
notes, but
Oh yeah.
But yeah, before I saw that, I
the
had
game
no idea.
the game I will be discussing today is what's sometimes called the Hong Kong GTA. Uh, I typically refer to it by its actual name of Sleeping Dogs.
I would call it Sleeping Dogs too.
It's Sleeping Dogs 1, thank you, but
Shut up.
So originally, I wasn't sure what I was going to call this episode before actually watching gameplay footage of Soul Hackers and learning that you summon demons. So I was like, okay, I can just call this Deal with the Devil, because the whole premise of Sleeping Dogs is you play as an undercover cop working in Hong Kong, trying to become a member of the Hong Kong Triad, in this case, the Sun On Yi, in order to infiltrate the organization and bring it down from the inside. Typical plot. However, in this game, you don't just like beat people up and arrest them. You full on murder people. Like you're shoving them in incinerators. You're skewering them on fish. You're like throwing them into fan blades. Like there is no question you are murdering these people. You don't murder cops. You just murder criminals. But still, like you full on just shoot people in the streets. Like it's crazy. But yeah, you play as Detective Wei Shen, who comes back to Hong Kong from being in the States, also in an undercover police unit, infiltrating the triads there, with your objective being to bring down the Sun On Yi here in Hong Kong. So yeah, it's very, you kind of sell your soul to the devil type deal. So before I'd seen the Soul Hackers footage and come up with Deal with the Devil, I was like, am I just gonna call this like Soul Dogs,
Soul
Hackers
Dogs
or something? Well, I was originally gonna call it Sleeping Souls, but I was like, that would just be a Dark Souls ripoff.
Yeah, Soul Dogs.
So it Soul Dogs. Well, I also debated like Hacker Dogs, but I was like, this isn't gonna make any sense.
Those are both great.
So
names.
I'm really glad that Soul Hackers had something I could work with.
Yeah, me too.
Or else it would have been Soul Dogs. And I don't know how I'd have introed John with that one.
Yeah, I would have been losing it like I am now in the intro. You would have said, "Welcome to Soul Dogs." And
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, everyone between and beyond. Welcome to Soul Dogs.
Great title.
So yeah, it's a very, I don't want to say stereotypical, but it's a well-trodden formula of open world third-person shooter with minimal shooting and driving compared to just like hand-to-hand combat. It really takes advantage of being in Hong Kong, takes advantage of Asian culture in having you use martial arts.
Yeah, very like Arkham
Not
style.
necessarily a bit more Arkham style than like traditional martial arts. Depending on the costumes, and I'll get into that a little later. But there are things that will switch up the way you fight.
Quick question for you.
Yes.
Did you play the definitive edition or the regular edition?
Originally I played the regular edition. For all achievements, I played the definitive edition. So the DLC was included, and I will be discussing.
Interesting. Okay. So I've only played the regular one. I have definitive, and I've never played it.
Huh. You absolutely should.
I think you'll talk about this in one of your questions, but I finished my playthrough of it, and I tried to go back to it 3 years later, and I just couldn't get into it for some reason. I don't know why, because I really loved it the first time I played it.
But you did beat it the first time around, right?
Yeah, I've done the story, not all achievements or anything, but yeah, I finished the story.
Okay. Huh. Now see, I was similar. I played it on Xbox 360, and then I replayed it on Steam, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do this. Let's go. And there was a couple years in between that, but I had nothing stopping me there.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I got another couple of hours into it, and I was like, I'm not really feeling it, and I just stopped. So maybe it was just, I don't know, just what I was feeling at the time. I would like to try it again, because I loved Sleeping Dogs.
It was so good.
So fun. So how many achievements does it have?
It actually has significantly more than Soul Hackers. It has 59.
Okay, so same number on both editions. That's good.
I think because the regular one still includes the DLC achievements in its list. So yeah, there's not a lot of difference.
Okay, 59. Yeah, that's quite a bit actually.
Yeah.
I think you've already answered this. This
Yeah,
was
we
not
got
your
that one.
first time playing it. Did you play it 3 times then, like Xbox, Steam regular, and then Steam Definitive?
No, so I played Xbox regular and then just Steam Definitive.
Oh, okay, understood.
So yeah, I've played it. Ooh, no, I did. I've only played it through twice.
Okay. Have you gone back to the game since you got all achievements?
I have not.
Oh,
It was a lot of fun, and I know I'm gonna sound like a broken record in saying that I don't usually go back once getting them, but for me that's good. That's all I need, and I'm good to just leave it at that.
that's fair. Yeah. What? Like, was it fun getting all achievements?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I will. Well, most of them, and I will discuss it later.
Okay, so like I'm sort of interested now in doing it. I guess I'll see how you get on with some of them.
Yeah, it's. I will say this: it's more so in the DLC ones where I'm just like, no, get out.
Okay, interesting. So how long did it take you to get all achievements?
According to Steam, as of I last played on January 23rd of this year. Sorry, of 2022, I should say.
Oh yeah.
I have 64.3 hours.
Okay. And that was just in the definitive when you were just going for all achievements, right?
Yes.
Wow. That's a lot.
So I don't actually know how long it's supposed to take. Give me a second here.
Yeah. How long to beat that bad boy?
Beat. I really don't like typing in how long to beat Sleeping Dogs because that just out of context that just sounds horrible.
Yeah. I will say like my casual playthrough is 25 hours.
Oh my god, this says completion is 41 hours. I'm terrible.
What happened? How did you take another almost full day?
I mean, it might not have been I can't remember how much I play if I played it. No, sorry, I did do 3 playthroughs because I played through regular on Xbox, played fully through definitive on Steam before getting all achievements, and then did another playthrough to get those achievements.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what I did.
Okay, and
I was like, because I was trying to think, how did I get an extra 20 hours, an extra 50%?
that would track because like my casual playthrough was 23 hours. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, what were the hardest and easiest achievements for you?
So the easiest one by far was called Minor Face, reach face level 2. So this game is a little interesting. So you have 3 experience bars technically. You have Triad for your Triad skills, which is mostly melee combat, stuff like that you get by doing illegal things, by beating people up and stuff. You have Cop level, which you get by doing cop missions. So you're not just playing as like a cop doing Triad things. You play as a Triad, but then you also go and just like solve cases and bust down street crime as well. And it's really funny because as I mentioned with the costumes, you can get a plethora of like cop costumes where you're like in uniform or you're in a CSI outfit or you're in full SWAT gear. And the cutscenes will show you in whatever costume you happen to be in. So I'm just gonna be sitting there in the cutscene, full SWAT gear, in like a Triad restaurant, talking to one of the lieutenants. Just again, full SWAT gear. No one's gonna say a damn thing.
Very undercover.
Very undercover. So it's just, it was, and sorry, I lost track here. Face. So face is your third experience metric. Face is a concept in Asian culture. It's kind of like a public reputation. So it doesn't matter what you feel personally. You have to display, to the face of society, something within their norms. And it's just like if you can get discounts on food and clothing and stuff with getting your face levels up in game. So it's a more kind of general social thing.
Okay.
And they all level up differently. It's a little odd until you kind of get into it. But yeah, that face level 2, super easy because it's kind of like your overarching experience, whereas you have to do Triad things or cop things to get those kinds of experience.
Right. Okay.
And the hardest one, okay, so I have 2. One for, I'm not going to talk about both DLCs separately. I'm just going to kind of mix them.
Okay.
So the hardest one for the base game for me was Chief Inspector. So it is getting 100% in absolutely everything, meaning you have to get all missions, cases, favors, events, jobs, and races done.
Okay,
So
Jesus,
you
100% of
you
everything.
do, pardon?
100% of everything.
100% of everything.
Okay.
So yeah, you do have to do everything for that. So needless to say, that took me a while.
Yes.
It was a bit of a pain in the ass,
Was it?
but well, just trying to find everything, especially because like I wasn't too big a fan of racing, so I had to kind of work my way up to that one. But you can make it easier by just getting better cars and stuff.
Right.
Like it's not terrible.
Right. And you get some cars with the DLC or something, right? Are they not that useful for racing?
I don't actually remember.
Yeah, I don't remember for sure.
Oh, I'd have to check on that one. But yeah, you can make it easier on yourself by getting certain cars.
Okay.
Because so races are done via class of vehicle, so like, motorcycles, SUVs,
Right.
sedans, vans would all be different classes. So like you'll be racing against other cars in your same class. As long as you have the best one in that class, you're fine.
You should win, yeah.
Yeah. And so this one hurts to talk about.
There was another hardest one?
Yeah,
Okay.
so this one is I also think it's DLC because this was introduced as a mechanic with the DLC. So it's called Pure Gold. It's technically not like fully DLC, but it's a lot easier to get with the DLC, but it's still a giant pain in the ass. So it's achieved 30 gold stat awards, and it is arguably the grindiest one here. And like you get, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You get 6 achievements by just trying to get this one.
Oh, really?
Because you get 1 for 5 silver, 15 silver, 30 silver, then 1 gold, 5 gold, 15 gold stat awards, and then a 7th achievement for 30 gold.
I see. I have both 15 stat achievements, but not 30s.
Huh. So yeah, this one's rough because you have to do a bunch of different things that you can track them in your options menu, but they're not like flagged to you.
Okay.
So it would be like getting a certain number of headshots, getting a certain number of blind fire kills, explosive kills, sneak kills, broken limbs, environmental kills.
Ooh,
a lot of kills going on.
Okay.
Disarmings, counters, thrown weapon kills, fast talks. And you have to get whatever the threshold for the gold achievement or gold award is for that thing. It's not like a consecutive thing you have to do it one after the other. It's like collective over time. But getting 30 of them, like safe driver, your total clean drive time is 15 minutes.
Oh. Okay. But that's like not like consecutive 15 minutes, right? It's just like 15 minutes over the game without crashing or whatever.
Yeah, without crashing. And it has to like, you have to start going for a certain period before it starts tracking it, or else you would just like stop and start over again.
I see, yeah.
Or like total collectibles found, money spent, races won, earnings, like total earnings. Like it's all stuff you get while you're trying to go for the rest of the achievements, but it's so tedious if you're missing some because they aren't related to an achievement that you're focusing on at that point.
Right. That's quite a cool idea though, just like a bunch of different kinds of things that you just have to get good at.
Yeah, like this game really makes you get good at everything that it has.
Interesting.
And the reason I say it's easier with the DLC is because the DLC adds in other metrics to kind of just help you get there.
Oh.
So like most kills in one play session, if you get to 200, you're fine. So just do a couple missions where you're massacring plenty of dudes and then you're good.
Oh, okay. So you get to like pick and choose which 30 you want to do, kind of?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a specific 30 as long as it's 30 out of, I can't remember the total number.
Right.
Then you're good.
Okay, cool. So outside of those achievements, what were the most and least fun for you?
The least fun involves technically, well, I mean, a lot of this is going to involve lethal activity, is infallible. You have to win $50,000 in cockfights.
Oh, God.
But the problem is, they're all, like, you can bet on whichever chicken you want, or rooster, whatever, but it's technically up to random chance. It'll tell you, hey, this guy's won whatever number of matches versus this guy, because obviously if you win a match, you've killed your opponent. They're not going to have losses on the board.
Right.
But you have to, like, pick who do you think's going to win? and then you have to bet. I can't. They max out the bet. I think like $1,000 or something like that. But then you have to collectively win $50,000 over X number of
Oh,
fights.
okay, so it's not in one fight. It's just
No,
throughout the
no.
game.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it means you have to go to find the locations where they're happening, and then just hopefully you bet on the right one each time.
Can you, like, I don't remember how saving works. Can you, like, save before you make a bet or anything like that?
You can, but like after each match, there's just another one right away, so it's not like you're having to reset every time just to get the money.
Oh, okay.
Because it's not about getting money. Like by the point you're doing that one, you should have a ton of money in the bank to spend.
Right.
It's just getting up to the earnings of 50,000 just through that.
Oh, I see. So the money's not really a problem. It's just winning the coin flip
it's just
every
a random
time.
chance of trying to get to that total number.
I understand.
And then for me, I think the funnest one was Case Closed. So, like I was talking about earlier with police activities, you have certain larger cases that you will follow through multiple missions. So like one, you're busting the street level dealer, you make him flip as an informant. Then the next mission, he's going to meet with supplier. You go to that location, you take photos of them on your phone together as evidence. You follow them to the supplier, and like you work it up the chain. There's a couple different ones like that, from serial kidnappings and killers, drug busts, car racing, stuff like that. But they felt really nice to follow through.
Right, like just finishing the case, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was definitely, I think that was probably the funnest one for me.
Okay. What was the rarest one on the list?
Would you believe that the top two rarest ones, and this is important, are pure gold? Well, okay. Technically, it's pure gold as the absolute rarest, which can be considered main game, but I do consider it more DLC. Otherwise, it is all. Well, okay. The top three are achieve 30 silver stat awards, achieve 5 gold stat awards, and achieve 30 gold stat awards.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. And then the one before those is Chief Inspector, which is what I talked about earlier. You complete 100% of all missions,
right,
events, and everything like that.
Yeah, I would believe that all of those would be the rarest ones. Is there like
I like one out of those 4.
Is there like a platinum, like a 100% achievement?
No.
Oh, interesting.
So there is nothing that says you got. Well, I mean, technically Chief Inspector, but even that doesn't cover everything.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, what was the most memorable achievement for you?
So this is going to come completely out of left field. It is Karaoke Superstar.
Oh, I don't remember. I think I liked the karaoke in that game. I liked that it was there.
So it's super simple, right? So you're just moving your. Well, I played with controllers. You're just moving the left stick either up or down slightly to make sure you're hitting the notes.
Right.
And Karaoke Superstar is achieving 90% and above for all songs in the karaoke bars in Hong Kong.
Oh, how many?
And like they've got a good collection of songs.
Yeah.
And just his singing is so bad, but it's so funny, especially when you screw up.
Oh yeah, it is.
And I don't know, it was like the most, I don't want to say unique thing, because plenty of other games like of this style, especially Yakuza games, have karaoke in them. But just playing it just seems so out of place, and it was so funny. And there are certain missions that require you to do karaoke because you have to blend in.
Right.
And like karaoke is huge in Asian cultures.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really fun just doing these stupid little songs.
That's funny. Do you know how many songs there were? Like, because you said you had to get 90% on all.
You need to get 90% accuracy and above for all.
All of them, yeah.
I don't actually know how many are in there.
Okay.
Karaoke. Let's see here. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 songs.
Oh, okay, that's not too bad.
So yeah, it's not like it's not awful.
That's fair. That's like, pretty fun one.
There's songs that a lot of people would know.
Oh really?
There's Take on Me. Oh. There's I Fought the Law. There's Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Oh my god.
Bad Case of Lovin' You. Like they're not unpopular songs. They're maybe a little outdated by today's standards, but they're not unpopular.
Well, I bet most of those are still in karaoke bars.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, that's funny. Is there any is there an achievement you would remove from the game?
Yes.
Good.
Can you guess what it is?
Is it the 30 gold one.
It is pure gold. Get 30 gold stat awards.
Ah.
Just because I don't know, like I understand its inclusion for wanting to try to get everyone to engage with everything in the game, but at the same time, it just feels like such a tedious grind.
Yeah. Interesting. Like it doesn't sound too bad, like just hearing about it, because like you said, the DLC adds like different categories you can go for, but
Mhm.
yeah, I'm sure it is just a bit of a pain.
Well, the worst part about it is, like, yes, you can get a lot of them while you're going for other achievements. It's when you have to focus on them specifically, or when you're like trying to figure out, okay, which ones do I want to do versus which ones do I not want to do.
Right. Okay, yeah, you go sort of like a bingo board, like a Dark Souls bingo
Yeah,
board. You like
like,
cross
okay, do
out
I
ones you
want
don't want to
this?
do.
Do I want this one? Do I not want that one? Like,
Yeah.
and then you have, especially for like limbs broken, you have to get do certain attacks at certain times to get that arm breaking animation. With disarm, you have to have people who are armed with a weapon. There are some very situational ones.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, I think there was one. There was one here for killing someone with every thrown weapon in the game, and like there's 8 of them. Some are like mission specific.
Oh, I see. So you can like
Oh,
soft lock
sorry, no,
yourself
that's
out
its
of
own.
that.
That's its own achievement called whatever's handy.
Oh, okay.
But it's really funny because there is one. One of the throwables is just a fish,
That's amazing.
like a big ass fish.
You can kill someone with it.
Yep.
That's great. Is there an action or way of playing that you think there should be an achievement for?
Hmm. Not really. I tried to think about this one, and I was kind of thinking, okay, if there was an environmental kill where you threw a guy into like some shark infested waters or something, just like sleeping with the fishes, but it seems a little generic.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I mean, yeah, I couldn't really think of anything good for this one.
Okay. Are you able to soft lock yourself out of achievements?
You are not. I don't think so, because there are achievements related to, well, to Wei Shen's multiple girlfriends. I say multiple, he has like 4 throughout the game.
Whoa.
You do have to like call them, and if you advance the story too much, you can lock yourself out of like the early game ones, because they do get together, and that there are reasons for them breaking up. It's not just like they get together and then you're presuming they're together while he's hitting on this next girl. They are canonically separated for whatever reason by that point.
Right.
But yeah, you can miss advancing some of those relationships.
Okay. What about the thrown weapon one? You said some of the weapons are exclusive to missions.
Oh yeah, what am I saying? Yeah, so melee weapons and thrown weapons are specific to some missions, which if you miss them, you again have to go back. There is not a mission select screen. You would just have to go back and like properly do the game until you get to that one.
Wow, so you would have to like start a new playthrough.
Yeah.
Ooh, yikes.
So I'll get into this later, but yeah, I would recommend using a guide, having it open while you do your first playthrough, just to make sure you don't miss something by mistake.
Interesting. Okay, good to know. So I think we know this one, but how many times do you need to play the game to get all achievements?
You only need to play it once.
Okay.
Like it's one of the few that I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say it can be done in one, but you should do it in two. No, do it in one. 100%. Just do it in one. There's no point in doing it in two, because you're just gonna be missing out on things you would have to do anyway.
Right. So yeah, like have the guide open from the get-go kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Does the game reward you for getting all achievements?
Not really. I mean, there's nothing that specifically goes, "Oh, you have all achievements. Great. Here's something." It does. It feels rewarding in the sense that as you're going through it, like the stuff you're engaging with, the costumes you're buying, the cars you're buying, and everything, like, feel rewarding in and of themselves. So like getting to it feels good, but it doesn't give you anything for it.
Right. I feel that's a common theme with this question.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, the achievements are good, but there's nothing for getting all of them, really.
Yeah.
There's got to be some. There's got to be some games will answer yes, you get like a special thing for. We're just not playing them.
Well,
yet.
I feel like the developer has to be like us in the sense they want to get all achievements, so they're going to reward someone with a similar mindset.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll get an answer to that at some point. Do the achievements feel rewarding?
Yeah, I would say so. Like I said, there's a lot of like the game effectively forces you to engage with all of its mechanics. It says, listen, we have driving, we have fighting, we have shooting, we have costumes, we have cars, we have side activities,
You're doing them
we have
all.
girlfriends. You're gonna get them all. You're
Right.
gonna do everything.
Especially with like Pure Gold and Chief Inspector. We're doing like
Okay, so
100% of activities and stuff.
I was mistaken.
Okay.
I will say this. So I want to go back for everything I've said about Pure Gold, which is absolute garbage. There is one that's almost worse, and that is Cursed Gold.
Oh god.
So this one is a chained 5 gold awards, but it is a DLC achievement specific to the Nightmare of the North DLC. Because you have to obtain all 5 gold stat awards, missions cannot be replayed, and this achievement will be made easier. It's like, yeah, it is. So with the Nightmare in the North DLC, the basic plot line is suddenly there's zombies. Well, Chinese zombies.
Right.
I'm trying to remember what the name was. I knew this. I knew this name. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Okay.
Because I used to know this. But they're very particular because they're zombies. Jiangshi. So Jiangshi are like if you've ever seen them, they stand very still with their arms out, their hands down, and they kind of jump. You know, they don't really walk. They kind of jump towards you, and they have typically a talisman over their face.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I'll have a picture of them on screen. But yes, you're facing these guys, and I mean, in the DLC, they're referred to as vampires. Like they're still Jiangshi, but they're the achievement. There's an achievement for killing 200 of them called Vampire Hunter.
Okay.
But so yeah, in this DLC, once you do the story missions, which make up the bulk of the DLC, you can't go back to them.
Okay.
And you don't just find random encounters. Like you have to do DLC and main missions and side missions to get these. But once you're done the main missions, that's it. You can't get any more to get this 5 gold award, Cursed Gold achievement.
So like if you don't get gold on the mission, then you miss the achievement?
No, so you have to make enemies do certain things. Like for instance, kill 200 Jiangshi, kill 20 Yao Guai, kill 15 Yao Guai with the Peachwood sword, which is a melee weapon you only get in certain missions. You have to avoid 100 bites from the Jiangshi, so like they have to attack you, and you have to quick time event to get out of them.
I see.
You have to find all 10 hell shrines.
Okay, so it's just like specific actions, but if you finish the missions, you're locked out of the actions.
Yeah, like if you don't do it while you're doing the missions, you're just not getting it.
Right, okay.
I probably should quickly mention the other DLC then, given I talked about this one. Year of the Snake, which basically has so it's during the Chinese New Year, Year of the Snake. It's really funny. It has terrorists setting up bombs all over Hong Kong that you have to defuse because they're all part of a cult that they believe that, they're going to transcend to the heavens by doing this.
Right.
They're all dressed in like Power Ranger colors. Because like they're all wearing traditional Chinese garb, except they're all like different colors.
Right.
Red, green, blue, yellow, pink. Like they're just Power Rangers running around blowing up the city.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I just figured I would quickly talk about those. There's not really any noteworthy achievements in that DLC though, but both are really fun.
Okay.
So, no, the game never rewards you. Yes, most of the achievements feel rewarding. Yeah.
Okay. Does it feel that the devs cared about the achievements?
In some ways, yes. Like again, they make sure you engage with everything they've put in there, and I don't think anything feels super half-assed to the point where you don't want to engage with it. I think that they made some things a little more tedious than they had to be, especially when it came to like the DLC stat award achievements. Like that just gets really annoying.
Yeah.
But no, I think they cared about it to the point where they didn't want anything to be super off-putting. Like they didn't want something like New Game Plus, get to the end just to get this one achievement.
Right. Yes. I I understand.
And I don't know, they had some really fun ones. Like I said, the karaoke. There's a lot for like getting every type of food in the game, just which all give you different little stat buffs.
Oh, pork
But
bun.
like they pardon?
Pork bun. Why you
Oh
why
yeah,
you
the
no
pork
eat pork bun? Something like that, right?
Yeah, like a bunch of the food vendors will call out to you to come eat their food. You've got herbal teas, noodles, energy drinks, pork buns, ice cream,
Oh yeah.
skewers. Like there's a whole bunch of
Yeah,
food.
the food stalls and stuff were pretty cool.
Hmm. But yeah, it's a I don't know. I think it's a really well fleshed out version of Hong Kong that. And keep in mind, this is all in English. I played with the actors speaking English. They do speak some Mandarin mixed in,
Mm-hmm.
but that's just what you're gonna get. And I don't know. I think it was a well done game, a well fleshed out world, and I think the achievements reflect that. Outside of like the cockfight achievements, that one just pissed me off.
Um, do you have to get 100% of the game to get all achievements?
As far as I know, yeah, there's nothing in here that I can remember not doing, or that I remember doing that didn't have an achievement tied to it.
Yeah, I guess Chief Inspector kind of forces you to, for the most part.
Well, between Chief Inspector and the Gold Stat Awards,
Yeah, you basically do
like
everything.
there's a handful maybe that I don't have to get of the stats. Like if you want to call those part of 100%, you don't have to get them all.
Right.
So in that case, no. But
It's very close.
I don't know.
For like compared to games we talked about, I think it's pretty close.
and there is like a Gold Stat Award for completionist, totally complete or total completion percentage.
Oh, okay.
So that's just that's just its own thing.
Oh, fair enough.
So that's 2 games now that you have to get 100% of. That's what an episode.
Wow, yeah, same episode as well. Do the achievements feel unique in the genre?
I have never granted, okay, I've never played a Yakuza game, but I would imagine they feel similar to that just from what I've seen of Yakuza games.
Right.
And it's some of them are a little more generic, get a kill with every melee weapon, get level 10 face or level 10 triad. But like they're for the most part, yes, it feels similar to other games of this relative genre, but it puts its own flavor on it.
I guess, like, how does it compare to Mafia achievements? Because they're, like, quite similar games, really.
Yeah, that's fair. It's very different from Mafia, I would say.
Okay.
But it's also Mafia didn't go open world, like truly open world until 3,
Yeah.
and it definitely feels very different than 3. But yeah, it's when compared to something like that, or again, haven't played much Grand Theft Auto, it definitely feels different than those. Much more, I would assume, in line with the Yakuza game.
Okay. Yeah, it does feel like it's a mix of those two things with, like, the weird, like, side activities from Yakuza and, like, the open world.
And then more the general gameplay from like Grand Theft Auto or Mafia.
Yeah. Did you use any guides?
I did. I'm looking at it right now. Just a Steam community guide on the definitive edition.
Yes.
Again, link in the description down below. Tells you where to get each weapon. What missions. It's really nice because it breaks down to like story-related collectibles, events, jobs, favors, races, and cases, triad, cop, and face levels, kill-related, stats and completion continued, miscellaneous, and then the 2 DLCs.
Okay. That's very handy.
Like it breaks it down. Yeah, it breaks everything down depending on what you're going for.
That's a good guide.
Yes, it is.
Has this changed the way you look at the game now, and do you regret doing it?
I don't regret it at all. I love this game. I think for me it's different in the sense that, I'm half Chinese living in Canada, so it's not very often that I see Chinese or Hong Kong related representation in video games. That could just be the games that I'm playing personally.
Right.
So if you have more recommendations in the comments, please let me know. I'd love to try them out. But like typically, if you're gonna find an Asian influence, it's gonna be, either you play as an American going into Vietnam or something, or it's gonna be very Japanese inspired.
Yeah.
I think there is more room for other Asian culture representation, especially something like Hong Kong, who has had such a unique history.
Especially globally, I think. Like, there's probably a lot of, like, self-contained, like, Chinese-only games.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, I feel like a lot of Japanese games make their way westwards, and then
over to the west, yeah.
Chinese games don't seem to, or, like, even anything not Japanese don't seem to very much.
Yeah. like I would love a game um set in Hong Kong where you're fighting against like British rule and authority during, I'm gonna say, like the mid '80s.
Hmm.
Like that would be really cool. And again, I Hong Kong just has such a unique history and might be the less problematic form or less problematic culture to look into first.
Right.
But like even like Korean culture or Vietnamese culture, which I get would be really potentially hard for especially Western audiences to kind of fully understand. And there would have to be a lot of explanation in there. But I feel like when done well, like this one is, you can really appreciate the culture even if it's not as applicable to you.
Yeah, I think it's pretty telling that, if you say like Chinese video game, I think a lot of people will think of Sleeping Dogs. Whereas if you say
Yeah,
Japanese video game, like so many.
so many
Yeah.
things. Yep.
So yeah, it's pretty telling that this game that came out in whenever it was, like 2012 or something, is still kind of the gold standard for that sort of representation in a global video game.
No, absolutely. And I think there's a lot of, you know, I'm gonna say a lot of Chinese developed games that the government may not want to go international,
Yes.
and I think that's a whole separate conversation. But I think there's a bigger, there's an open market and in my opinion a desire to have games set in Asian centered locations, even if the actors are speaking English, even if things are explained in English. That's fine. That helps people, especially from a Western audience, kind of come to terms with it and relate it to or understand it better. I think there is definitely a good empty space that should be filled by kind of games centered in and around Asian cultures beyond just
Japan.
this is Tokyo.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't need like a 10th game in the Shibuya district.
No, give me Spider-Man swinging from like the crowded streets of Seoul all the way into the historic streets of well, I mean that's it's a bit of a distance. He can take the subway. He does in his new game. It's
He
fine.
does, yeah. Yeah, I agree.
But
It'd be cool.
give me Seoul and Daegu. Like give me other Asian locations.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it?
And that might be sorry, go ahead.
No, just saying it would be nice.
Yeah, and I think that might be part of the reason that this game has stuck with me so much is again representation, especially I'm gonna say recently, as in like the last 5 years, is the one is one of the big things that has really become a hot topic.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Um,
so yes, no, I don't regret it whatsoever.
okay, good. That's good to know because I'm contemplating it.
I would say do it. I'll send you the link before I post the episode, and then you can let me know if by the time the episode releases, you've done it.
Well, I don't think I will, but I don't think I'll do it like in that time. Well, maybe. Who knows?
It only takes, well, according to this, it only takes like potentially, depending on how many you already have, and it sounds like you've got a few. It'll only take you a little longer.
Well, I think I would start with definitive. So I haven't touched that one yet.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So the last question: would you recommend other people go for the all achievement? It sounds like yes. So you're trying to
Absolutely.
encourage
Like
me to do
again,
it.
it's probably one of the shorter all achievements experiences, and I think that's okay. I think that's a little bit of a lower barrier to entry for a lot of people. It's something you can kind of pick up and put down when you feel like it is. It does have a lot of gore in it. It does have some very racially charged things said about certain people. So if that's a trigger for you, just be wary. But I mean, it also deals with drug abuse and overdose. So again, if that's trigger warning for you, just be aware of these things.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can kind of come to grips with those things and just enjoy the story, I think it's a great one. It's combat feels great. Just beating some dude's ass just is awesome. It's not big on being a shooter. It is more a melee focused game, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I feel like pulling away from just like the stereotypical
GTA
shooter
style.
is the way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely on my list now.
I absolutely 100% go for
I
it.
just added it to my need to play category on Steam, so I'll remember it now.
And how big is that category?
I don't think it's too bad.
Really?
It is 103 games.
That's what you call not too bad?
Out of 4,508, yeah, I don't think that's too bad.
How do you have 4,500?
I have a lot of games.
Apparently.
Uh,
Oh man, I don't even know how many games I have. Sorry, scratch that. I have 547.
oh my god, I have 4,000 more games than you.
That's what I'm saying.
Jesus. So yeah, just 100 on my need to play list. Not too bad. Some of them have been on there for years. Don't worry about it.
Oh my god.
It's 'cause I used to like install games I wanted to play and then just like not play them and they'd just like be taking up space. So I started like only installing games I'm actually playing and like making a category of games I needed to play.
So out of your 4,500, how many do you have all achievements for right now?
That is a good question. It's not that many. Perfect games, 46.
How?
I mean, if I could see how many unplayed games I have, like there's probably a lot.
You can rank it by playtime.
That will crash my computer.
Oh, that's
I
true.
cannot load 4,508 games. I just sort by hours played. Yes, I don't know if that's gonna. I've also
because
I've
it stops displaying a number on playtime if you haven't touched it.
Yeah, and I've also idled a lot of games for cards, so that doesn't help me.
Oh yeah, I forgot you were a card hunter.
Yeah. Anyway, I've got a lot of games on Steam. It's the moral of this episode.
Well, everyone, take that as a glowing endorsement for anything John talks about. He picked less than 10% of his 4,500 games to get all achievements for.
That's true.
I only have 16 out of my 547. I don't know what the math is on that. I'm not going to do it in my head.
Sorry, mine's 1%.
Oh, God. So yeah, take that as an endorsement for any game that we talk about on this channel. These are games that usually, maybe not today, but usually we will recommend because we've put the time in, we've selected these ones, and we want more people to know about it.
Yeah.
So anyway, thank you everyone so much for watching and or listening. I hope the new year is treating you all well. I hope it's treating us well. We won't find out for a couple months. Do remember, this show is on both YouTube at the Tease Table YouTube channel, as well as on most, if not all, major podcast platforms, hopefully by the time this goes out. Again, working on the video thing for Spotify. Hopefully that works. It comes out on the 24th of every month. And if you want to reach me, I am at TTYT22 on Twitter. Hit me up with any games you've played, any games you might want me to cover. I'll have a look. I can't guarantee I'll play them, but I will look at any game you cover, you recommend, provided it is safe for work standards. There are certain games I can't cover for obvious reasons.
House party.
Tell you what, if the channel does well enough, I will be launching a Patreon in 2023 where I will post not safe for work content like games. If you really want to see me do it.
Wow, all achievements in House Party coming up.
Or Honey Pop, or
whatever. That's another one,
whatever you guys want. If the channel does well, there'll be a Patreon for it.
Nice.
As well as other bonus content I was thinking about. Anyway, that's a topic for much later in the future. Thank you everyone so much for joining us. John, thank you for being here. It was a blast having you.
Thank you for having me again. Always fun doing it.
Perfect. I'm sure we'll have you plenty more in the new year.
I'm sure, yeah.
Have a good day, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.